Hello everyone, myself Vibhu. Today I am going to discuss about radius of stationary orbit. Okay, it is a 5 marks question, or sometimes they will ask for 1 mark also. Directly we have to write the expression. Okay, so now let me start the derivation step by step. Okay, so you can write the notes also. Okay, so here let us consider an atom. Okay, and nucleus. Inside the nucleus, proton is there and neutron is there. Clear? And around the nucleus, the electrons are revolving here. Okay, this is the electron. Okay, which is revolving in the circular path with velocity v. This is a velocity which is drawn along the tangent. Okay, whose charge is E. Okay, basically electrons are negatively charged and whose mass is m. Mass of the electron is m. Okay, and the distance from here to here is taken as radius, small r. Okay, and the nucleus is basically positively charged. Okay, let me call it as a E, and it is minus v. We can take minus. Why? Because electrons are negatively charged, and Z is the atomic number. Clear? Radius is the line which is drawn from the nucleus to the orbit. What is orbit? Orbit is the path for the the flow, movement of the electrons, where the electrons revolve around the nucleus. In this path, this imaginary path is called as orbit. Around the sun, planets are revolving. Similarly, here the electron is revolving, okay, with the velocity v. All right. So let us start with the explanation. Consider an electron of charge E. If you want, you can take it as a minus E, revolving around a nucleus of charge plus Z. Always we should start with some explanation. We have to give some description. Suddenly we cannot start with the expressions, derivations. Always you have to give a small introduction about the diagram or any derivations. Okay, in a circular path of radius small r with a velocity v. Okay, Z be the atomic number, m is the mass of an electron. Okay, all right. When the electron is revolving around the circular path, okay, here is the nucleus is there, electron is revolving along the circular path called orbit, where nucleus is basically a positively charged and this is negatively charged. Okay, there is a force of attraction come into picture between the nucleus and the electron. Okay, so now I can add here the electrostatic Static force of attraction. Electrostatic force of attraction experienced by the electron due to the nucleus is. Okay, so there is a electrostatic force of attraction is acting between the electron and the nucleus. Electrons are negatively charged and nucleus is the positively charged core. Is it right? So the formula is F equals 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Z E into E divided by R square. So this formula is basically taken from the Coulomb's law. Okay, so now I can write it as F equals 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught E into E square Z E square divided by R square. Okay, let me call it as a equation number 1. Okay, next, go to the next slide. Okay, the centripetal force acting on the electron is F equals mv square by r. M is the mass of the electron, v is the velocity of the electron, r is the radius. This force is provided by electrostatic force of attraction. Electrostatic force of attraction. So we can say that, let us call this as the equation number 2 and this is the equation number 2. So this centripetal force come into picture due to the electrostatic force of attraction. So both are the forces, similar each other. Okay, so I can take it as mv square divided by r equals 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Z E square divided by R square. We'll call it as a equation number 3. Okay, so now what we can do is we can take this R square this side. Let us cross multiply to here. Okay, so we'll see in the next equation m v square r square whole divided by r equals Z E square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Is it right? So I just cross multiply to here. And now what will happen? This r and this r will get cancelled each other. So now we left out with m v square r equals Z E square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Right? Then angular momentum of the electron for the nth orbit is Okay. Angular momentum of the electron for the nth orbit is L equals mvr equals n into h divided by 2 pi. L equals mvr, basically taken from the first PUC. L stands for angular momentum. M is the mass of the electron, V is the velocity, R is the radius. Here N stands for any orbit number. N equals 2 equals 3 dot 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 dot. All right. H is the Planck's constant. Okay. So now in this equation, what I will do here, V equals NH divided by MR into 2 pi. I'll just take this here, cross multiply. Okay, so we will get here V. Okay, so let us call this as a, here we have third equation and we'll call it as a fourth equation. Next one is the fifth equation. Okay. Now what I will do here, V means what? NH divided by MR 2 pi, right? So now put equation 6 in 5. Okay, here is the fifth equation is this one. Okay, so and here is the fourth equation is this one. So sorry here. Okay, now put 5 in 4. Correct. So here is the, this is the fifth equation and this is the fourth equation. So now in this V, I'll put it here in the place of V square. Okay. So now what will happen here? M, and what is V there? NH divided by 2 pi MR, right, into R equals ZE square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, and here square is missing, right? So now what I will do, N square, H square, whole divided by 2 square means 4, 4 pi square, M R into R. I'll write this R here. Okay, so here M square, R square, correct? Here again, what we can do is, can we cancel this R and this R? Is it right? Equals ZE square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Is it clear? Okay, next here what we left out? N square, H square, 4 pi square, M square, R, right? I'll take this R here, rest all I'll cross multiply here. Okay, we'll see here. I'll take this R this side. Okay, R equals, okay, so here this M and this M also we can cancel. Here 1 M is there, here 2 M is there. Out of that, 1 I have removed. So now what will happen? Look here. R equals, okay, 4 pi epsilon naught N square H square whole divided by 4 pi square M Z E square. Correct? This Z and E square will come here. Now what I can do is, we can still cancel some more things. 4 and 4 will get cancelled. This pi and this pi will get cancelled. Is it right? So now we left out with what? R equals N square is the orbit number. Okay. H square epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space. H is the Planck's constant. right? Pi m z e square, correct? Is it clear? Okay, this is a formula or expression for radius of a stationary orbit. Still furthermore, we can simplify. Let me call this as a star. Okay, I mean to say that important main expression. Next, R equals n square into h square epsilon naught whole divided by pi m e square. Correct? Here z was there, but in this expression z is not there, where z equals 1 for hydrogen. Okay, now R equals n square into 5.29 into 10 to the power minus 11 meters. So by putting all the values, numerical values of this, if you simplify further, we'll end up with this numbers, this value. So for the exam point of view, in the exam, it is not necessary to simplify that. You can memorize this. Okay. So this is the n is radius here. Any radius you can take 1, 2, 3, and this is the value. We can get it here, right? All right. So now furthermore, what we can do is R equals, okay, 0.529 into 10 to the power 10. Okay, I mean minus 10 meters. Instead of writing in the 10 to the powers, so I'll write it as 0.529 Armstrong. Okay, this is the value you have to remember. Okay, where n equals 1. So then we are talking about the first orbit. All right, that is the innermost orbit. So radius of the innermost orbit is 0.529 Armstrong. All right. The radius of the innermost orbit of hydrogen atom is called as Bohr radius. Maybe one more question. Okay. Define Bohr radius. Okay. And the radius which we got it here is R equals 0.529 Armstrong. All right. So this is all about the derivations. Hope it is clear. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can post in the comment box. If you like this, kindly subscribe and share with your friends. Definitely, this is the 5 marks questions, which will come in the main exams. Also remember this innermost radius value, okay, 0.529 Armstrong, and this expression is very important expression, okay, for numericals. Sometime it will come in the 1 marker section also. Remember this. R equals n square. N is the orbit number. H is the Planck's constant. Epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space. Pi is constant. M is the mass of the electron. Z is the atomic number. E is the charge of the electron. Is it clear? Okay. Thank you very much.